What's up guys, I'm Phoenix Master 1 and welcome to another Resplendent review, and this time I'm going to be taking a look at Brave Roy and going to be going over the builds that you can run on him, and at the end I'll have a very special bonus segment similar to how I did for Brave Lucina. So Brave Roy is a Gen 1 Choose Your Legends 1 Sword Cavalier, and he is not the first winner of the males division, so that's why he doesn't really have a preferred skill, and he does have Blazing Durandal as his weapon refine. And honestly, this weapon refine like 2 years ago was absolutely amazing, and it served him like really well, and also his father, because his father does share this weapon refine with him. So this weapon does give him +3 attack, and in the player phase he basically has the special fighter effect where he can get these special charges +1 per attack on both enemies hits and his own attacks, and he also inflicts the guard effect on the foe. And then he's also able to get steady impact in the player phase where he can get +7 speed and +10 defense, and the foe cannot make a follow-up attack. So like I said, this was definitely a pretty good weapon refine back in those days, and he can still use this with high cooldown specials like Dragon Fang or Gale Force, and at max investment he is going to be having workable offenses. But the problem is that this weapon refine is simply limited to the player phase, and nowadays we just have insane competition with Regan, with Legendary Sigurd, with Brave Salif, with Legendary Nana. All of these Sword Cavaliers in the modern times make it really hard for Brave Roy to stand out, and especially because he doesn't have a preferred skill, he doesn't really have that kind of edge where he could maybe stand out. So he can be compared to his father, who honestly has stolen the limelight from him for a really long time because he got the Resplendent version at the right time, and he also has the same weapon refine, and he's available in the 3-star, 4-star pool. So he has kind of overshadowed Roy for a very long time because of being a much accessible merge project, and he was heavily used in Aether Raid's defense and also in Aether Raid's offense for Gale Force. And Brave Roy is gonna be, catching up to him in the stats, and he is gonna be having pretty much the same attack and HP, but he is gonna be having a bit more defense at the cost of having a lot less resistance. So he's not really going to be able to spam Glacies like his father, and he is going to be a lot faster than his father, which is definitely going to be helpful in this kind of metagame where units right out of the box have like base 46 speed. So at plus and merge, at least having that much speed does make it a bit workable compared to a lot of the Gen 1 units. Still, it's going to be pretty tough for him because we have a lot of bulky threats now and also a lot of Sword Cavaliers. So he's not really going to be having the power to punch through a lot of the bulky threats that are going to be in his way, but he can definitely try and function in the player phase if you really like him as a character. And if you picked him up many years ago and you have been working on a merge project, then this is definitely going to be pretty nice. And I actually have a +10 Brave Roy on my main account, so I'm actually pretty ecstatic. But I feel like this was a bit too late. His father got the Resplendent version at the perfect time, and if he got like 2 years ago or 1.5 years ago, that would have been the perfect timing. But right now, if you're a big fan of him, only then you're going to be investing into him. If you want to build him up on a budget for maybe limited hero battles or something else, then you can just run him with Fury and Blade Session. And Blade Session is going to be helping you in the player phase, and you can even have hit and run because we don't really have access to Kanto on a budget, so this is pretty much a bootleg Kanto that we can get on budget. But if you're going to be investing a bit more into him, then you can definitely try and run him with attack speed catch 4 so that he can get the extra offenses, and also attack speed menace and speed defense near trace. So a lot of these skills are going to be, easily accessible from the divine codes, and attack speed menace is going to be having good synergy with the cat skill, so he can easily function as a Gale Force unit with having these special charges from his weapon, and he can simply run this build and stack on his offenses. At max investment, he can run the Clash skill and also Flow and Trace from Alfred. So Flow and Trace is going to be the perfect skill here because not only gives you the half null follow-up, but it also gives you the trace effect. So it is pretty much going to be necessary for doubling a lot of slower units with follow-up negation skills, and you can also get the trace effect at the same time. You're not going to be able to get the debuff on the opponent, but still this is going to be really helpful, and you wouldn't have to choose between either running a flow skill or a trace skill. You can have both of them. And attack speed clash is going to be giving you the max offenses along with attack and speed debuff neutralization, so it is going to be a pretty good skill at max investment, and there are not too many options that you would like in slot C, so attack speed menace does work out fine for this kind of player phase weapon. You can also use him with Surge Sparrow because he does get the special charges from his weapon, so you can easily run a 4 cooldown special like Dragon Fang if you don't want to use him with Gale Force, and this is definitely going to be an option to heal up a lot of HP and do a lot of damage. And Surge Sparrow is going to be going in and fitting with the player phase playstyle of his weapon Refine. You can also use him as a Gale Force initiator in something like Aether Chaos, but I'm afraid that this is not going to be cutting now, as we have many bulky frontliners that people are going to be having. So it's not going to be able to do a lot of damage, but he can basically run double Fury and just get into the Wings of Mercy range into combats. And this is going to be possible because of the special charges in his weapon. And I actually used to use this kind of build on my Eliwood back in the days when we only had Note as the 7-slot unit. So Eliwood would definitely just, Gale Force off of her and fall into the Wings of Mercy range. And pretty much the idea is similar here, but it is going to be working out a lot better in Aether Chaos because the opponents are not going to be having the mythic buffs. So it is going to be a bit easier to not only fall into the Wings of Mercy range, but also to take out the threats while trying to initiate. And Flow and Trace is going to be a pretty nice skill here because there are going to be a lot of units that are going to be bulky and have follow-up negation. So it really helps, and Pulse Smoke can also help you just decharge the specials of pre-charge teams with Duo Asker or with Hardy Fighter armors. Finally, he could be used in Arena with R Dual Cavalry 4. Unfortunately, there's not a very good skill available that is tier 4 for the slot B. So he's going to be scoring 180 BST with R Dual Cavalry 4. And Fluent Trace and his cavalry mobility is definitely going to be helping you with hit and run with the Gale Force. Unfortunately, there are way too many Choose Your Legends units which do not have a preferred skill, and unlike now, where they give every Choose Your Legends unit a preferred skill, that didn't happen with the other units, and Brave Roy is also a victim for that. So I hope that at some point in the future, they can give the remixes to these Choose Your Legends units because these are some of the most popular units. So this is my theory craft if Brave Roy got a remix and got a new preferred skill. So I would give him a slot B skill replacing Desperation with Lion's Advance, and the reason for this name is because he does have that skill Advance in Fire Emblem Engage, which he can provide as an emblem. So it does make sense, and he can just have Canto 2 with this skill, which is going to be really amazing. And this is going to be fixed Canto, so it is not Canto remaining movement like the Flow skill. This is also going to be providing him with the half tempo effect, which you can also call as the offensive half of tempo or the null guard, which is going to be perfect with the special charges that he can get. And then he can also debuff -4 to attack speed and defense of foe in the combat. So it is basically going to be an upgraded tempo skill in a way, and then he can have the full null follow-up in the combat with this skill. So this is going to be making him stand out compared to his father, which is going to be helping him so much because with his weapon Refine, as you'll see in a moment, this Lion's Advance slot B skill is going to be having really good synergy, and it is going to be working out really well to just modernize him a bit. And if I had to replace the Steady Blow, I would definitely give him attack speed Clash 4 so that he can have the attack and speed debuff neutralization. That seems like the endgame skill for most of the Cavaliers anyways. So that's what I would want out of his remix. And for improving his weapon Refine to the modern standards, I would definitely make some changes. The first change is going to be that the weapon is no longer going to be only for player phase. It works in both phases. He's going to be able to get +5 to all of his stats. He still has the special fighter in a way with special charges and the guard effect on the foe. And now he can also get 40% damage reduction on foe's first attack. And with the weapon Refine, I would give him -1 special cooldown, which has had a precedence on Brave Lysithia's weapon Refine. So that is going to be making Gale Force into a 4 cooldown special, and that just helps him so much, in his role of triggering special with the tempo effect of his preferred slot B skill, and then with the special charges of this weapon. He's going to be getting another round of +5 to all of his stats, so in a way, he still has that +7 speed and +10 defense. It's just that he can now actually get resistance and attack as well, which is going to be really good for modernizing him. And he can still have the follow-up negation, the impact effect, which was, but now it's going to be functioning in both phases. And finally, he can get true damage based on 20% of foe's attack stat. So with his attack stat at the moment, I think he's going to be missing out on a bit of a punching power against a lot of the threats, and the true damage is basically going to be trying to fix that. So let me know what you think about my theory craft regarding his modernized weapon Refine and if he got a preferred skill and a remix. So hope you all enjoyed this video. Make sure to share this with your friends who are trying to build Brave Roy or just trying to update his build. And if you enjoyed, please be sure to leave a like and a comment, helps me tremendously. And if you really enjoyed, you could always support me directly by using super thanks down below or by becoming a YouTube member. And for more FEH videos, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, because I wait for the YouTube sub boxes to work just like I'm waiting Brave Lynn to finally get her Resplendent version as well. So that's it, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.